You're listening to the Grind Line Podcast.
What's up, and welcome to another episode of the Grind Line Podcast. I'm your host, Greg. You're listening to episode 342. I am here tonight with Ryan. How are you, Ryan?
I'm great because there was some news and some hockey.
There was two things. There was news and there wasn't news about hockey, but there was news and hockey. So the news. Do we want to start with the news first?
Yeah. I think the news is most appropriate.
So the Red Wings unveiled what I am calling the best alternate jersey in recent memory. The Centennial jersey was dropped with an awesome video with that game leading up all the way to it, where if you solved all the stuff, you get entered into winning a Red Wings prize pack. But they showed it off. It gives a nod to like the entirety of Red Wings jerseys, like from the beginning all the way through now. The awesome logo on the chest that's just like the old stitching style, the leather captain's diamond, the matte helmets, the leather gloves, just the entire kit is beautiful. And I don't think I've seen a single person say negative things about it.
I don't know how you can. I think this is, for me, I was hoping for something similar to 2014 Winter Classic. And this absolutely put it there. The logo, extremely similar, arguably the same type. It's got a little bit smaller with the tilt on the 2014. But I love they went with the off-white. They just, I don't know, they hit the classics. And the way that they described it, I love how they were very deliberate in basically honoring the last 100 years of hockey. You got the Cougars represented, you got the barber pole represented with the numbers. You've got everything that you like, the brown gloves to go back to when things first started. It's clean. The stitching in the winged wheel that's on the chest to mimic how it looked back in the day. It's in what really I didn't catch right away. Matte helmet.
With the classic Meyer logo on it.
The matte helmet.
Meyer even got in on it.
They nailed it. Even much as I hate to say it, the priority patch remains, but they've tucked it up onto the shoulder. It's not as gaudy and ridiculous looking. And really, for what you had to work with, the fact that they did move it up there, I applaud. Because they did go back to the captain's patch on the right shoulder, which I love. I don't know. I really struggle to be upset with how they put this together. Maybe the only thing you could argue, and someone did make the comment I noticed online, is the striping they're not a fan of, and someone was comparing it to Chicago, and they're, I think what's it, the reverse retro? Which one was it?
It was the all black jersey with the big Chicago logo on the front. Yeah. But the striping on the Wings jersey is the exact same striping that was on the Detroit Falcons jersey.
Oh, totally. But I guess what I was getting at to that, though, is that was a very common way of striping. So I see both angles, but it's still, everything just pays homage to the history. I like how the numbers are so simple. Someone called out, it's two colors. That's all you needed to go with. There's nothing crazy going on. It's just boom, there. What I wish there was a white alternate version of this, and this is what they were going to wear the entire season, because that would be legit fandom heaven.
And a lot of people say, well, they don't, and this wasn't a case with this jersey where like this jersey standalone by itself is phenomenal, but people tend to say, well, let's wait for the kit to see what the whole thing looks like. The entire thing is phenomenal. Like top to bottom is fantastic. I do love that if you look at the lettering and the numbers, it's like that old felt style lettering and numbers. It's got character. It's got feeling to it. Like, when you put on, and a lot of guys will say this thing, like they wear when you put on the jersey, when you put on the sweater, like it's supposed to invoke some kind of feeling. Mm-hmm. And Mickey Redmond looks at it and they're like, well, how would you describe it? And he's like, vintage. And that's what it looks like. It looks like vintage Detroit Red Wings. So hopefully it brings back some of the power of the vintage Detroit Red Wings and can push this team forward this season.
And it was a great touch, the 100 patch being up on the shoulder. Like they kept the front clean.
Super clean. So we will be seeing this one in action because they will be wearing it opening night. and I got my opening night
Opening
tickets.
weekend.
Yeah, I got my opening night tickets today. So
Congrats.
we will be there during the home opener. They will be debuting these jerseys at the home opener.
What an opening. The Habs and then the Leafs.
Yeah,
These jerseys.
It's scary. Our first week, we talked about it a while back, but our first week is not too kind looking. So hopefully, like I said, this can give them a little bit of a shot in the arm, because the players all seem to be, they did the opening the case video as well. And the players all also seem to be super receptive to it, which is really cool. The other thing we have to talk about tonight is there was hockey that was played. The Red Wings played 2 games in Dallas against the Dallas Stars, and I'm going to air quote this heavily, prospects. What was a lot of NCAA guys and Emil Hemming. I think that was like the entire team. And it was really interesting. And I kind of want to get your thoughts on the overall, because we're used to having them come into Traverse City, play for the weekend with 6 teams. What is your thoughts on just condensing it down to a 2-day event where teams all split off and do their own thing, but we still get some prospect action?
I mean, I like the fact that they're getting out there and playing against other prospect teams, but I mean, we've been spoiled with the way they've done it at Traverse City, because you've had between 4 and 6 teams that over the last several years, and it's just been a nice little tournament given the setting. So in that sense, it's a bummer, because you would like to see that playoff format almost, and getting to see some extra prospects, because I know it was Columbus and Dallas were 2 of the mainstays for quite a while.
It was Columbus, Dallas, Toronto, and Minnesota came in. St. Louis came in. It was like an actual tournament.
And it's been nice to see, but for whatever reason, this is how they decided to go with it. I mean, maybe it's a better tune-up or get ready space for the team coming in, because now you're not having to move one group out, move one group in. If I'm not mistaken, B Case is already up there preparing himself for the week, as players should be arriving if they haven't already arrived this week. So yeah, it stinks. Like, maybe, I don't know how much money wise it's costing the area. That's the perk. I mean, this time of year in Traverse City, you have some of the best weather you could possibly ask for, with the leaves already changing up that way. So in that sense, it's a bummer. But I mean, teams are going to do what they got to do. I'm happy that it is Dallas and Jim keeping things going. So it is what it is.
So as the games go, the Detroit Red Wings won game 1, they lost game 2, so they split the weekend. And I think coming out of it, the big thing was, we had said going into it, like, what do we want? We want Nate Danielson to go out and dominate, to show that he doesn't belong there, because he really didn't. And with the last minute omission of Carter Bear, it was announced Carter Bear was not going to play in the weekend. He will take part in training camp, which starts on the 18th, and he should get some preseason games in. And I feel like they just want to be careful with him. Like, he's coming back from an Achilles injury. Yeah. Give him as much time as he needs. Don't put him into the situation where it doesn't really mean anything. Just let him get enough rest and come into training camp hard. They sub in Amadeus Lombardi, and that was another one where I'm like, again, same track as Danielson. You've got to come in and show you don't belong here. And both of them did. They were, overall, the whole weekend, they were the best players on the ice. It showed. Nate Danielson is so poised with the puck. He had a couple assists in the first game. He got a goal in the second game where he just walked 3 guys to center ice and just perfectly placed the puck. And it's exactly what we wanted to see. We wanted to see them go out and show, hey, we've played men's hockey and we really don't need to be here. And that's what they did. And they looked fantastic doing it. Now, Lombardi is the one guy where we had talked about dark horses before. I am now 100%, and not like I haven't been, but I'm 100% on the Amadeus Lombardi could make this team.
It's possible. I mean, I like Max's comments about what he saw, and it played a lot into that. And Ammo, for all intents and purposes, was one of the stars on the ice those 2 days, and he should have been. He technically is a graduate of the prospect tournament. You would expect him to go out there and take care of business, and he did. When you go back, I always like to go back to when we spoke to him. There's a growing pains that he typically goes through. It seems like, yes, was this a high-end level Dallas squad that he was playing against? No.
The catch-up period.
Yeah, but he is finally seemingly grabbing on to the pro life and running with it. And what's possible there? Maybe he does fit into your bottom six as a scoring winger because he's not afraid to mix it up for one. Is he the biggest guy on the ice? Not necessarily. He's 5'10, 165, according to Puckpedia. You hope that that's a little bit more weight there. And I know that we've talked about that as a concern before, but his speed was noticeable. Now, will it be noticeable here in over the next 2-3 weeks as we get into some preseason action and with camp upcoming? But I was happy with what I saw. He wasn't afraid to drive the net. He wasn't afraid of battling along the boards. I thought he played heavy and fast. He was great at controlled entries, bringing the puck into the offensive zone. Things that you were looking for out of him, you saw, much like with Nate Daniels.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone is hard pressed to say Ammo needs to be a center at the NHL level. I don't think he will be. I think he will be. I think he will transition to wing at the NHL level. That will open him up to more offense. It will take less defensive responsibility off his shoulders. But even after getting injured in Grand Rapids last season and coming back in 44 games played, he had 40 points, 19 goals, and 21 assists. Like, this kid was almost on a point per game pace in his second season in the AHL, where last season in 70 games played, he had 26 points. And we saw the same thing with him in junior. In the 2021-22 season in Flint, he had 67 games played and 59 points. In the 2022-23 season, he had 67 games played, 102 points. So we're seeing the same jump in the AHL that we saw in the OHL, and that's, I think, is really exciting because, like you said, we saw the speed, and he was playing against older guys in that prospect tournament. Dallas had a team of a lot of NCAA players. They were not 18, 19-year-olds. They had a 24-year-old playing in their prospect game, which is kind of wild to me. But Lombardi went out there, and not just the speed, like you said, like, he was deking guys out of their shoes. He was making smart passes. He was good at the cycle. Like you said, he was going and doing board battles, but he was finding open ice, and he had a million chances out there. He got a goal. It paid off for him. He got points, but he looked really good doing it. And we say it's not just about when you have the puck. It's about what you do away from the puck. And I think that's where the Nate Danielson conversation comes in, because Nate just, you can notice, like, normally you notice the guy's got the puck and what they do with the puck. What Nate does without the puck is extremely noticeable. He makes room. He finds the ice. He's setting up plays. Nate is so polished. I know they want the offense from him, but his two-way game is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think the thought from us going into the conversation and looking forward to this weekend was that all eyes would be on him, and rightfully so. And he made an impact at all aspects of the ice in all situations. The question will remain, whatever reason, I should say for whatever reason, for good reason, is he going to be able to bring some of that impact to Detroit? Is he going to bring the offensive mindset that he's shown? Can he score? Can he set guys up? I think he will. What I really liked in particular, though, was the quote from Dan Watson. And he goes, I was hoping that he was going to be one of the best players on the ice tonight. He was. Mainly referencing game one, but that was really reminiscent, or not reminiscent. That was really what was his whole weekend. And something that caught my eye is that going into this camp, Nate Danielson was weighing in at 197 pounds.
He's a big boy now.
Somebody has found the weight room, and that's been a call out of, I think, really the last couple of years is, can you continue to get bigger? We knew that he was already NHL size, but now looks like that muscle build has started to caught up. Dylan Larkin hockey butt is
it's the Carter
in.
Mazer plan of eat everything. That's what it is.
So do I think that he still has an incredible opportunity to make this team out of camp? Yes. I think him over maybe a Mazer is still a chance, because who knows how Mazer could end up looking after he comes back. But it's going to be interesting, because we talked about the roster the last time, and it really does feel like the final spot is up for grabs, if you will. And that could be a rotational piece going into the season.
I feel like in any case, the Grand Rapids Griffins are going to have such a good team this season, just really good. And what we'll talk about on the other half of the break is the other two guys that people were looking forward to, plus a couple other standouts that maybe weren't on everyone's list, but I thought they played a pretty good game. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor to talk about the rest of the prospect weekend. Game on. Week 1 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This isn't just football, it's first touchdown fireworks, anytime TD rushes, and live bets that ride every momentum shift. At DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. Just like you can pick the Lions to win the Super Bowl and cross your fingers and hope that it happens. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly, plus grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more, plus $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
During our quick break, I just want to tell everyone about something that's totally changed my mornings. Strong Coffee Company. If you're like me, you love your coffee, but you also want it to actually do something for you. This is the upgrade you've been looking for. Strong Coffee isn't your average cup of joe. It's an all-in-one instant blend made for people who care about their health and performance. You're getting 15 grams of grass-fed protein, 5 grams of MCTs for long-lasting energy, and adaptogens like ashwagandha and L-theanine to help you stay calm, focused, and productive without the jitters or crash. The black blend is bold and smooth, made from organic fair trade Arabica beans, and their lattes, they've got collagen, hyaluronic acid, healthy fats, the works. It tastes amazing and helps you feel sharper, sleep better, and just show up as your best self every day. And on top of all that, they're eco-friendly too, so you can feel good about what you're putting in your body and how it's made. Check them out at strongcoffeecompany.com and use our code GRINDLINE. That's strongcoffeecompany.com, promo code GRINDLINE at checkout for 20% off. That's GRINDLINE for 20% off your order. Give it a shot. I think you're going to love it. And we're back. And in the second half of the episode, we are going to focus on the remainder of the prospects that played. And I think we'll start off at the top with MBN and ASP, the acronym duo. ASP was good. He had a much better, I think, game 1 than he did game 2, which could be the same for MBN. But ASP, offensively, you see what's there. They put him on the power play. The Red Wings got 1.5 million power play chances, especially in the second game. But you could see why he is so offensively gifted. He cycles the puck well. He gets up to the top, keeps himself open, doesn't take dumb shots. Like, he waits until he has an opportunity to shoot. One found its way through. He got a goal on the power play. His defense, I will say, was not terrible, but you could see where he was trying to maybe do a little too much. He was over committing. He was over battling. He was over skating, just trying. And maybe it's just the jitters. Like, I want to make this team, so I'm going to go try and do everything I can and not just stick to my game. But he overcommitted a little bit too much. Now, is he a million years away from the NHL? I don't think so. I think that get him in here, get him a few months of NHL time, see how, or of AHL time, see how he catches on, see how he develops. I think he'll be just fine. But you could absolutely see why he's held in such high regard with just the offensive talent that he has.
The way that he walks a blue line is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it because he's a Swede, but it's like watching Erik Karlsson.
His lateral movement is fantastic.
Oh, it is. The way that he's able to just quickly sauce a pass off his backhand to the right wing side to set somebody up for either a pass down low or a shot. Like, he was completely in control of the power play. That's what we were hoping for and what we're expecting as a fan base. To your point about defensive oops, if you will. I mean, it was a little concerning, but also not surprising. I mean, there were some guys that were tossing him around in the net front. So it's, I think, out the gate, you're going to want to see him, that strength and conditioning, or strength in particular, get better. You want to see him stronger. Get that Rafalski build where you're not going to take anything up front or Chelly, the smaller guys, and go at it. But offensively, the skill, the brain, all of it is there. It was on display, and it's exactly what you would expect. I liked how he was quick and decisive with the puck. He wasn't afraid to step up. More often than not, he would kind of push in, get somebody to bite, and it would open somebody else up. But the way that he was up on the point, and what I really appreciated and what we've been harping on for the last several years is that with his shots, to your point, he found the space to get that puck through. It wasn't just a grab and go, shooting it off legs, and oh no, maybe there's going to be some chaos.
It was vision.
Quick and deliberate to try to get that puck on net. Now, the goalie, to their credit, especially when they were on the penalty kill for Dallas, he was eating those shots up pretty well and wasn't too crazy with rebounds. But as a whole, the way that he was up there on the point, not afraid to let it go. And I really was excited about that and what that brings to Grand Rapids. The likely landing spot for him for the next several months is awesome.
Yeah, and people like to talk about his size. They're like, well, he's an undersized defenseman. Like, he's small and he's going to have to work his way in. He's 5'11", 185, according to EP right now.
Yeah.
And you figure between he's 20 years old, figure maybe he gains another 10 pounds. If he can be 5'11", 195, he's not small. Like, he's not like 5'6". He's not like a Rocco Grimaldi kind of guy. He's 5'11". Like, he's not small by any means.
Erik Karlsson's only 6 foot. There's a 1 inch difference between the two and 5 pounds.
Well, there's also a mile difference in defensive capability, I think. I don't think ASP is going to be a defensive slouch. He's never been a defensive slouch. He's never been bad defensively. It's just he is an offensive defenseman. That is his strength. I mean, I have no issue leaving him in Grand Rapids for the season. He'll probably be the first call up, honestly. If a guy goes down a month into the season, ASP could be one of the first call ups. At this point, you can't start him in Detroit. I don't think you can start him in Detroit. You got too many defensemen here as it is. They give him time. They put him in AHL. They let him develop. They let him power play quarterback, start getting points, start making quicker decisions, start slowing down the rest of his game, like the defensive game, and not overcommitting. And I think he'll settle in just fine. For MBN, I think you may have been able to say that MBN and I talked to, and just through Twitter, Red Wings prospect account, and I think he said the same thing, that MBN probably could have been called the best player of game one. He was out there just destroying guys. He got points. He put a goal in. I mean, MBN played a really good tournament. Second day, not as good. I would say he was only okay. Mm-hmm. The first day, I thought he was very good. And I know I had said that maybe he's the dark horse to fill in that top 6 role that's missing. I'm not so sure about it. But I think, again, he might be one of the guys that gets a first call up because his game is an NHL style game. It's power forward. It's go get in front of the net. It's go board battle, hit guys off the puck.
Laying the boom.
Yeah, be a bowling ball. Go out and just do it, and then have some offense to his game. I still think he has offense that he just, in 2 games in Grand Rapids couldn't really show at this level. But I thought MBN had a good weekend overall. Like I said, really good game 1, okay game 2.
You want to know another guy that's 5'11" and 181 pounds that has been an elite talent at the NHL level? Adam Fox.
Well, until recently, but yes.
But you see, that's my point. Like, these guys, you're going to see the smaller ones that are going to be impactful offensively. But on the MBM point, I was excited with the way that he, like I said, brought the boom. He was laying open ice hits. On the one goal that he scored, he brought it across the blue line, had a beautiful sauce pass to the open board, which let the far wing settle into it. But after he got rid of that puck, a player from Dallas came up to hit him. and he had a beautiful reverse hit as soon as he got rid of it. So he knew what was going to happen in terms of contact at all times. Things that we've gotten comfortable with Mo Sider, for instance. Will that be a consistent?
Yeah, I was going to say the
thing that he
Moritz
can,
Sider school of reverse hits.
right? Will that be something we maybe want him to continue doing? Yes, but no, don't get hurt, is what I'll say. But again, we did get us to see that scoring touch, and I think that was pretty important. That for him to be out there, all of these guys that we've mentioned were the ones that we kind of touched on before. And if this is what we can hopefully expect to see moving forward, going into the Grand Rapids, or actually just to camp to see what that plays like going into either Detroit or Grand Rapids for maybe at least one of these guys, I'm all for it.
And most recent kind of, I guess, metrics on MBN, 6'1", 207 pounds. Tall guy, a lot of muscle. Again, physical forward, two-way forward. He's a guy that is supposed to go out, cause chaos and damage, and then chip in some offense.
It'll be interesting to see like Danielson and MBN in particular. I don't think MBN, unless he does something crazy in camp, will be in Detroit. But Danielson, we've been hyping him and going crazy the last couple seasons. This might be one of his most important camps.
Would you try out Ammo as the first line left wing?
Someone mentioned that, and it
just
did,
purely for offense.
I mean, it could work, but
it's not worse than anything else you have, probably.
No, I mean, there's not a whole lot of top lines that are going to be going out there. So you're looking at a Florida that a Raymond and Larkin cannot handle at this point.
I agree. Okay, a few other guys I want to bring up. First, we'll talk one of the other highly rated prospects, Shai Buium, who very calm, very poised, very creative out there. Shai also got a goal that was really cool. He was down. He actually made the play and then came back and got the goal, which was fantastic. Shai, I think he has an NHL future. He is one that when I talk to the guys from Hockeytown West, they're like, Shai is a guy everyone should be talking about. He played so good last season that they say he is much more ready for the NHL than like a William Wallander. They said Shai should be the one people are talking about on defense, minus ASP. He should be one of the ones that they're talking about coming out. They had a really good weekend. I mean, he looked solid. He looked like a guy who had played in the AHL, which he has. Ryan, though, I want to bring up the one you mentioned, which is Will Murphy. Will Murphy was a 6th-round pick, 172 overall this season, 6'4", 212 pounds. And the first sentence on EP's draft guide recap of him, Will Murphy can ram through opponents.
Definition of truculence. What's a line that stood out to me from the commentary group this weekend was, it's Murphy again, because he was in the middle of some bullshit after the whistle. He was stepping into everyone and was totally okay with it. From what I was able to pick up on him, it was just, I'm going to go in, I'm going to hit you, you're going to like it, and then we're going to keep playing. So he's going to be an interesting one to kind of watch this season. Where did you say he was going? You said he was going to college, correct?
No, Will Murphy is going back to the Cape Breton Eagles in the QMJHL. Will Murphy is a guy that makes you say, thank you, sir, may I have another? He is 6'4", 212 pounds. He is a left shot defenseman. Last season, the QMJHL had 54 games played, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. He's not there to score. He is there to make you sorry that you're playing hockey. That is what Will Murphy is there to do. He was
pretty successful in it this past weekend, too.
Yeah, it was really cool. Justice Christensen is another guy who I thought did the same kind of thing as Will Murphy. Justice Christensen is the one that is committed to the University of Nebraska Omaha next season. He's 5'9", 185, played like he was 6'5", 210. He is a right shot defenseman, is 20 years old. He is able to sign a contract as a free agent because he has hit that 20. He is now 20 years old. He's hit that threshold. He's a guy that was mixing it up out there. He was a guy that was in people's faces. I think he's a guy that could get an NCAA or could get an AHL contract because of what he was able to go out and do. His name was said a lot and not for bad reasons, because when Dallas brought the Goon Squad, which is really what they iced, he responded to it. And it was pretty positive. Now, for the Prince Albert Raiders in the WHL, actually had a decent season in the WHL. 68 games played, 22 goals, 24 assists for 46 points as a defenseman. It's junior hockey, and he was 19, so technically overage, but he's a guy that really went out there and left it all on the ice, and I was pretty impressed with what he did.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw with him, he was in the right spot at the right time. There wasn't a lot that you could get upset with, and really, for this, all things considered, that's what you're looking for. So, if that leads to something more, I think you're in a great spot. But it'll be interesting to see, like with him, maybe he signs soon. I'd be intrigued with Murphy being in the same boat come next season. After this season, I think he's going to be eligible. I think catch when his birthday was offhand, but both those guys, if you've got some graduations happening at Grand Rapids and you're needing some new youth to bring in, I can see that happening, especially if Murphy continues the way that he's going and he's just going to solidify himself as a shutdown defenseman. Hey, go for it, man.
And the last guy I want to talk about tonight is Grand Rapids Griffin signee Carson Bantle. Carson Bantle actually played with Grand Rapids last season for 23 games, had a goal, played 39 games with the Toledo Walleye, had 21 goals and 8 assists for 29 points. No, is that right? Yes, 29 points. He is a 6'5", 216-pound winger. He's 23 years old, but he was another guy that was making things happen. He was out there setting up plays. He was out there getting in fights. He was finding open ice. He was creating space. Carson Bantle looked really good. And a couple of people even brought up, they said, maybe if you're looking for a depth guy, I mean, I know we brought in guys like Brogan Rafferty last season, who was the highway king, who went up and down from Grand Rapids to Detroit.
We can no longer do that now.
No, you can't. But if you're looking for a guy, say a fourth line guy goes down, say Michael Rasmussen goes down, maybe you bring in a guy like Carson Bantle because he is big. He's 6'5", 216, that kind of fills that role and doesn't give much up. So I think that Bantle had a really good weekend. He kind of showed, and he's not old. He's 23. He was a 5th round pick, number 142 in 2020 by the Arizona Coyotes, now Utah Mammoth. That I think there is something there to him that if you needed a guy to fill in, Bantle, I think, could more than carry his own weight.
I like Doucette. I'll throw that one out there.
I've been impressed with Doucette for a while. Like, he had really good juniors. He got signed. We're like, maybe he'll play some with the Red Wings. He played in Toledo. He's played in Grand Rapids. He's really good offensively. He's good at finding space and good at making plays.
I put down as a note with him is, could he end up being an impact player for Grand Rapids this year with what they're bringing in offensively? If he can find a solid role and run with it, and he had 21 points in 64 games last season, that for your first true full pro season, and not including the walleye, maybe it's like an ammo situation where he needed that year to kind of get settled in. And now we're going to start seeing that at that elevation. What's that mean for him long term? I don't know. But for all things considered with what they've got, I'll be intrigued to see what Doucette can bring.
Yeah, he is 23 years old. He's 6 foot 187. He's a creative guy. If you look at his draft notes, it says Doucette is one of the better forwards at making plays through opponents. He threads the puck inside sticks and skates in possession with soft touches, not elaborate dangles. He also passes the puck in the same way, a little bit of deception, but more so high precision. And he had offense to his game and he was undrafted. His last season between Val-d'Or and Halifax, he had 34 games played, 53 points in Val-d'Or, and Halifax had 36 games played and 62 points. So he can put up points. He had 41 points in 52 games in Toledo, and like you said, 21 and 64 in Grand Rapids. So if he finds himself in a solid role in Grand Rapids, say with a departure of Mazur, with a possible departure of Ammo, if he can pick up that slack and score and provide that offense, then yeah, I think there's a shot that he gets maybe a little bit of call-up time at some point. Is it with the Red Wings? Maybe. Maybe he takes a flyer. Maybe another team takes a flyer on him that gives him a little bit of NHL time next season. but I think that he's a guy that I saw and I'm like, I think looking at his game, there could be some low-end NHL possibility there. For sure. But I think it was a good weekend. The Red Wings start their training camp on the 18th, so in a few days here. They will then go to Traverse City Traverse City is where the training camp is. They will then go to Grand Rapids for the red and white game before they start the preseason. So we've got a little bit of time left. We are in the We Are Back section, according to Brian, I think, or we're in the We're Kind of Back. Once training camp starts in the red and white game, then I think we're back or preseason, and then we are so back closer to the season. We'll have to kind of get with Brian for that. I'm also going to look into doing some maybe watch parties this year. I'll find a couple places to do some watch parties. But Ryan, what's your final thoughts before we sign off tonight?
Final thoughts. Go get a jersey if you can. Unfortunately, our friends at Vintage Detroit were not fortunate enough.
They were
to
screwed by Fanatics.
Get them, and that's kind of been the relationship, I think, with Fanatics for a while now, unfortunately. But I jumped on one. I know a lot of people actually have already jumped on one. So I'm pumped. I can't wait to see how this plays out and how this looks as a group effort on the ice. But it's just exciting to see this type of news. We had the prospect games going on. We've got training camp starting this week. We're going to start seeing the feeds filled with hockey, and great time of year. I also saw the Caps' new alternate jersey. What was your thought on that one?
I love the Screaming Eagle. It's a great jersey.
It is. I was a fan. It was all red with the white top. The stripe, I like Jay Fresh's point. Get rid of the stripe as the dividing line, and I think it will look pretty clean. But other than that, RDRN 33.
Yeah. You follow me online, Bringing the Wing, Grindline Podcast online, Grindline Pod. Go sub to us on YouTube and turn on those notifications. You'll be notified whenever an episode goes live. Give a shout out to the Hockey Podcast Network and thank them for hosting us and spreading us around. And Vintage Detroit, even though they're not getting the Centennial jerseys, they're the only place you should get your other Detroit jerseys from and worked on, and where we have an exclusive t-shirt collection. So if you go there, click the Keep It Local tab, click the Grindline Podcast, you'll find our designs there with more coming this season. But that is going to do it for us tonight. So for Ryan, I am Greg. You stay classy, Hockey Town.